Hey y'all, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. My name is Diane and today is November 10th, I believe, 2017. It's a Friday. It is a little bit gloomy outside, so I'm hoping that the colors show well and that it's not so gloomy that you can't see. But I just had some time today after work and after picking up my kiddos, and I wanted to sit down and talk with you guys. It's been so long since we've chatted, and I've really missed sitting down with my camera and chatting about knitting. I just feel like I've done so many things, so it's time to catch up, right? I have one announcement, and I need to announce the winner of the House Lannister hat giveaway that has been going for the last several weeks. The winner of that hat is post number 14. Excuse me, it's the winner of the pattern for the hat. You do not get the original hat, but you get the pattern to be able to make your own. The winner of that pattern is number 14, Raven Knitter. So congratulations, Raven Knitter. If you will contact me, I will get the info out to the Naughty Gnome designer, and we will get that pattern out to you ASAP. So thank you so much for participating. And let's see, since the last time we spoke, I have been to and from Canada, which is amazing and so exciting, and I just feel so privileged that I got to see more of this great planet that we live in, even if it was a hotel. Really did not leave the hotel hardly at all, but you know, such is the way of retreats, right? This particular retreat was quite structured, so there was not a lot of downtime, but you're paying for these amazing teachers, and so it was great to get every ounce from them and spend all of my time learning and so many things. So I will talk about that a little bit at the end, but I do want to show off, let's see, one finished object. I can talk about another finished object, and then a third is a finished object from a while ago, but I finally get to show it. So let's get into finished objects. So the first thing that I want to show you is a girl thing hat. I think I kept saying it's a girl thing, and it is just called a girl thing. And this is a pattern by Joji Locatelli. It is out of her Authentic collection, which is a self-published ebook, and is available for download on Ravelry. I knit this out of 2 colors of Dale yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn, and I could not be happier with the result. I'll show you this hat, and I'll talk a little bit about it. Because of course it's me, it is not without a story and an adventure. So here is the hat itself. You can see that my version is quite slouchy, but I like the way that it fits. I knit this, I think that there are 3 sizes, and I knit the maybe medium. But so you can see these beautiful stripes right here. Sorry, I'm looking at, there's this funny stitch right there, and I just need to learn to not put that there. Let's get a better side to show you in the front. Okay, so you can see that there's some just basic ribbing, these beautiful stripes with the yarn, and then this gorgeous lace top. I will take this off to show you the lace, like that. So in the pattern, Joji has it written for 3 different colors of yarn. 2 colors that you use right here for the stripes, and then a 3rd color for this kind of flowered lace top. I was using some yarn that I was sent for review, and so I just used the 2 colors that I had. I have more than enough still left over, and honestly could probably make a reverse version if I so chose to do so. The lace was very fun and easy and addictive. I enjoyed every bit of this project. Sadly, I cast it on sometime last year, and it took me so long to finish it. And, you know, as we all do, we always say, it's like, you don't know why things take you so long, but really, truly, I do not know why it took me so long to finish this hat, because I love it. It's beautiful. It's fingering weight, so it's lightweight, but it was, you know, more interesting and had certainly more details than like a sockhead hat. If I were to knit it again, I would knit the smallest size. I apparently have a child-sized head, which seems interesting since I feel like I have a lot of hair, but I apparently have a child-sized head, and it's also not very tall from here to here. It's a small, flat head. So, I would maybe knit like this much less and a little bit shorter, and then that would give me a cute like beanie style. I did block this out over a balloon because I really wanted to open up that lace so that it would be very pretty and beautiful. So I did block it out over the balloon for that. And then when I initially took it off of the balloon and put it on, the ribbing had been stretched out way too much. The lace part was beautiful, but the ribbing was way too big. So what I did was I wet kind of re-soaked just this part, and I put a rubber band, like hair tie, around here, and then hung it to dry so that this stayed nice and, you know, still blocked out. I wasn't folding this or anything, but this was kind of getting tightened back up, and it did the job just perfectly. It fits exactly how I would wear a slouchy, more like a slouchy style hat, not like a beanie. And yeah, I could not be more thrilled. So this is called A Girl Thing, and it's by Joji Locatelli. I feel like you're going to see a theme with my finished objects this week. The next thing that I finished over the last few weeks, I unfortunately cannot show it to you, is another hat, and it was a gift for my friend Joji Locatelli, and I knit that for her out of my floral bouquet yarn in the DK weight. I knit her a hat called Olive and Jack, and it is a gorgeous cabled hat pattern by Sarah Stevens of Graceland Wool Company, and I absolutely loved the knit. It was super easy and potato chippy. It really just flew off the needles, and I could have finished it in just a couple of days, but I took it on the plane with me to knit on the way to Canada, and I got just as far as I could before I needed to put that hat on some DPNs to finish it up, and I didn't have those on the plane. They were packed away, so I had to wait a day or so to finish it. But I finished it in Canada, and I blocked it, and it turned out beautiful, and it was a nice gift for my friend. So I am very excited to have that one done, and I can highly recommend the pattern. The last finished object that I have is in theme. It is a pattern by Joji, and this was that infamous test knit that I couldn't tell y'all about so many months ago, and I finally have it off the needles. Well, it's been off the needles, but I finally have it off the needles to be able to show you. So I was so fortunate to be able to test knit the Jody shawl, which she released I think Wednesday last week while I was in Canada. So she released a shawl for Jody and one called Tracy, and yeah, they are both so beautiful. I was very excited to be able to test knit Jody. This is a DK weight shawl. I did use 3 colors of my Suburban Stitcher yarn. So I will put this on for you. And it's been a little while since it was blocked, and it's been worn and in and out of a bag. So it probably could use a nice reblock, but it has a beautiful lace detail here at the bottom, kind of in the eyelets there. The for the shawl absolutely made it zoom, zoom, zoom. I love her fading. It's just so pretty. So the 3 colors that I used, this top white and black speckle is called Rorschach. The gray is called Cinder, and the black is called Coal. This is quite a long shawl. It is longer than my wingspan. It is super squishy and cozy. I will show you. It hangs beautifully, kind of just sits around your neck. It was so perfect to have in Canada because it was nice and warm and just sat here making me so warm and cozy. I cannot say enough lovely things about it. So here it is, if you want to see kind of how it sits when you're wearing it. So it's very nice. You could also certainly wear it over your shoulders, and it's quite sizable like that. So it's definitely would keep my shoulders nice and warm if I was cold. And then if I wanted to do a pin and have just a beautiful wrap, I could certainly do that as well. Let's see if I could do that. So have it pinned and around my shoulders. So there are so many ways to wear this shawl that are all beautiful and show it off amazingly. And I will say right here, just because I don't want to forget to mention it, that I do have kits in my shop, at least for the next several days. I'll keep them up a little bit longer. I do have pre-order kits for sets to make this shawl. I have, I think 5 different colorway sets, kind of from some of my standard quote unquote colorways that I've matched up together to make some lovely combinations. I do have one called Cinder, so you can make one exactly like mine. I believe there's one with peach tea, there's one with tandoori, there's one with predictability, and there's one with river's edge. I think that's all of them. So if you like blues or blacks or pinks or orange, there you can pick whatever color you like. So there should be something for everyone. So that is the Jody shawl. So I'm still working away on finishing some of those longer standing works in progress that I have, but I will have to admit that the cast on bug has caught me, and I have been casting on a few things. So I cast on a couple of hats since the last time you've seen me, and I finished one of those. The other one honestly didn't even, or it went to Canada, but I did no work on it, and I haven't touched it since, so I need to get on that one. Maybe this weekend. That will be a nice, easy project. But I did cast on a new pair of socks, and I'm excited about this because these will actually be a pair that will be gifted to one of my kiddos, probably my oldest. I'm looking over there to see he's not here, so he can't hear me or see me. But I cast on a pair of socks out of some yarn that was part of a kit that went up this week, and fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it, they are all sold out already. But this was a super fun collaboration that I did with Jody, Mrs. Brown's Bags, of the Grocery Girls, and I dyed up some yarn that was based on a picture of the Edmonton skyline kind of at night, and it was a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous photo. And I will try to insert a picture here if I can remember. Hopefully I hear myself saying this and I remember to do it, but we'll see. But I saw this picture and just really was excited about it and contacted her, and she said, absolutely, I would love to work with you. So I dyed up some yarn based on that picture and sent it to Jody. She knit it up into her infamous swatch and then created a fabric out of that knitted swatch. So here is the bag. This is the fabric that was created. And I cast on a sock out of that yarn in Edmonton. The yarn I called Evenings in Edmonton because it was a picture of an evening there. And I have finished the first sock. So here it is. It is just an overall variegated, lots of blues and purples and blacks and orange and green. The picture was of the skyline of downtown with a beautiful kind of purpley blue sky, and you could see snow on the ground, and then you could see all of these different pops of color from the city, like the orange and the green from the lights, and I just tried to represent that as best as possible. So you can see the colors there. Just super, super pleased with how it turned out. So I have finished the first sock. This is my normal vanilla sock, which is a Turkish cast on 16 stitches. Which is 32 stitches total, 16 on each needle. I increase every other round until I get to 32 on each needle, which is 64 stitches total. I knit up to, like for my sock length, and even though these are a gift, they're for my oldest, and he basically wears the same size shoe as me or quite close. So if they're a little big, it'll be just fine. But I knit 84 rounds straight. I put in a Fish Lips Kiss heel, and then I knit another 60 rounds, I believe, on these, and then a 16 round cuff. That's a 2x2 ribbing, and then Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. I don't know if it's because my tension is so tight or what, but I have never had an issue with Jenny's flaring. I'll take it off of the blocker so you can see, but I feel like every time I do it, it looks just fine. I don't have an issue with it looking too stretched out. So here is the first sock, and I have just barely I think I have maybe a couple of more rounds on the toe. Here, this way. A couple more rounds on the toe of increases, and then I'll be knitting straight. So I am just about at that mindless knitting stage, which is perfect. That's where we all like to live, right? In mindless knitting land. Or at least when you're talking about socks, because I feel like that's why most of us knit socks, is because it's an easy, predictable, we know the pattern, don't have to think about it. So that is one works in progress. I have also been putting some stitches into another pair of socks, several other pairs of socks actually, but this is the one that is most notably different. Last year, about this time, I believe, I cast on a sock. I know it was this time of year because I cast it on the day after Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving, and it was my, when the Gilmore Girls, the new series, the 4 new episodes of the Gilmore Girls came out, and this is a Gilmore Girls colorway. So this, the main color is called Dragonfly In, and it is by the Yarn at Home Mom. This heel heel, cuff, and toe accent is one of my very, very early experiments. I called it Accidental Plum. I've never been able to repeat it. I've tried 3 or 4 times. I get messages occasionally asking if I can dye it up, and I promise that I have tried. I'll keep trying, but you know, who knows? It may just be this one-off skein, and that's fine. It's very pretty. It works. It sort of taught me a lot in those very early days about dyeing yarn and what color does, and concentrations of color and things like that. But yeah, so the first sock has been done for quite a while. And before I left for Canada, I cast on the second one. So I have the cuff and I'm into the sock leg. So which is great because that means I now have 2 socks that are at the mindless lots of stockinette stage, and that makes me very, very happy. Yeah, so that is another pair of socks that I've been working on. And let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, so I worked a little bit on my Sunset Highway sweater. I cannot remember when the last time you saw it was, but I have, let's see, here's the front of it. This is going to be the nicest view, I guess. It's kind of hard to show. So I am almost done with this first little section of teardrop shapes. As you can see, the 2 colors that I'm using so far, the black is Coal, and this pink color is called Tainted Love. And it's kind of a grayish, muted-ish pink with some gray and some darker pink speckles. So this was a very, very early colorway for me, and it's the first time that I'm knitting with it, so that's exciting. Yeah, I'm just loving this. I pick this up, do a few rounds every day or so. I have no big rush to finish the sweater. The only reason that I'm in a not a rush, knitting is never a rush, but a like, okay, I really need to at least focus on getting this first little section done, is because I need the leftovers from the pink for another project that I have determined needs some Tainted Love in it, and that is my Kimber Shawl. And this shawl I did bring to Canada with me. It did get some attention on it. I think that since the last time you've seen it, there is quite a bit of difference. I have finished the first section of the shawl. I have done the kind of fade transition, the first section, and I'm into the second section of eyelet lace right there. So these are all Suburban Stitcher yarns. This colorway is called Menagerie. This colorway is called Sage. The next color that I need is that Tainted Love. So let's see if you'll be able to see this here. I was gonna originally do a darker pink, but I feel like it would have been too shocking of a transition. So that will be the next one. And it really does a good job of pulling out those pinks in that top Menagerie color. And that is thanks to Prairie Girl Susie, who kind of analyzed my pinks with me and helped me make that determination. So this is Kimber. It's a unique shawl construction. The first time I've ever done construction like this, so that's always super fun to learn and try something new. I do find that the eyelet rows on this lace shawl, they're done on the purl side, and they are very, very slow for me, and it's because of the, it's because they're not symmetrical. The way that all of it falls, it's not symmetrical, and so I literally have to reference the pattern every couple of stitches. So I know that's what's slowing me down, because it's in those eyelet sections, it's not mindless. When I'm in every other row of that thing, it is so easy and enjoyable, but that one row seems to slow me down enough that that I don't pick this up as often. So I know that's sort of hindered me from making some really big progress on this, but I love these colors. I'm really drawn to them right now. Like this is sort of probably on the camera, it looks like I'm almost wearing nothing, so that's exciting. But yeah, I think that this is just going to be kind of one of those color schemes that goes with everything. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. And it is in my field bag that has a few new pins on it, so I will show you. I got this from Lavender Loon, my friend Sam. It's a beautiful skein of yarn that has the sun and the moon and some stars, I believe, or clouds on the ball band portion. Of course, my kind of pseudo Hendrix-like bottle. I have a quilted patchwork pineapple from Patchwork Threads. My pen here knitting something that says not perfect because there's a dropped stitch. And that is certainly me. And I have, this is my newest one, my Grocery Girls pen. So I just love adding new special pen friends to this. It's a lot of fun. And of course also this is from the College World series this summer in Oklahoma. I may need to search and see if there is an Astros World Series champions, because they won. And the only thing that could have made that whole thing better is if I had been in Houston to see the final game. I can't even imagine what this city was like. It would have been amazing to be here. I do feel like I missed out on that a little bit by being in Canada, but I did happen to be in the hotel bar with 3 other people who were from Houston, and we were cheering our team on and so excited when they won. So that was a thrill. Okay, so I think that's it for works in progress. So this week in Hello Lovelies, I'm just taking a couple of things that were given to me on this trip, and one thing that I purchased and that came in the mail while I was gone. So I I have to say, I purchased basically nothing from my trip, and all of the things that I am going to show you, and I'm not going to show everything today because quite honestly there's so much that it just feels quite gluttonous, and I feel like a better representation of what I received would be to sort of parcel it out a little bit here and there, and just to see what I got, and I can talk about it when I use some of the things. But there are a couple of things that I do want to share because I've already been using them and they're making me smile today. So I will talk about a couple of things that I received at the retreat. I went a couple of days early to help the organizer, Cindy and Ann Budd. There were maybe 4 or 5 of us that were there a little bit early to help with goodie bags and just a couple of other logistical things. And in return for that, which was, I mean, it was quite my honor to do that, but they gifted us with this gorgeous Remembrances Pottery mug. And I have absolutely coveted these online so many times on Instagram and on other podcasts. I do not own any Jenny the Potter, and I do not own anything other than 2 or 3 local handmade artisan mugs, like local Texas makers. And so to get something like this was quite special. So I received this mug that I have used already and I love. And I have to say that my favorite part about it is, one, that it is clearly handmade, because it has that, you know, uneven lines, and which I find so charming. I also like that it's a little bit thinner than some of the other handmade, maybe like turned. I don't think this was turned on like a table. I feel like this one was rolled out and then made, I believe, from what little I know about ceramics. I think that that's how this one was made. But I absolutely love this. I like that it's a little thinner. So I also received as a gift these 2 next things that I'm going to show you. I received some buttons from Remembrance's Pottery, and they are socks. And I need to find the absolute perfect thing to put these on, because they're beautiful, and they're a beautiful kind of steel blue gray, and with the little knit stitch details, I just absolutely love them. So I received that, and then this last little thing that I want to show you that's so cute is a lamb sheep cupcake from Sucra Miniatures, and this was given to me as a gift because apparently everybody knows that I collect the little cupcakes from her, and this little guy was so cute, so he makes me so happy. Let's see, there we go. His little ears, I just don't want to drop it. Yeah, so cute. So thank you. Those are a couple of the things that I will show you this time, and I will show you now. I actually purchased these next couple of items before I left, and they came in while I was out of town. Oh my gosh, smells so good. Lavender sachets are one of my favorite things in the entire world. I love them so much. I purchased a Fat Squirrel bag, my first ever time to make an update for her. But this one was so good, I just couldn't pass it up. So it is, she had an update after Needles Up, after Rhinebeck, with her bags that were her remaining stock, or some that she had held back, who knows, but it was her post Rhinebeck update. And I got this gorgeous bag with mermaids and unicorns, and it's so funny because these are not my typical colors, these deep greens and jewel tones, but I'm absolutely in love with this bag. There was something about it I couldn't pass up. And I have another shawl sized of her bags, and it's really a great size. So yeah, I really couldn't pass it up. And then I also had to get an Elizabeth Zimmermann enamel pin, which, I mean, every single knitter needs one of these. So cute, so awesome. Like, I'm going to have Miss Zimmermann on my bag, and so I wanted to show it to you off of the bag first, but I did get that. So, and she Amy Beth puts these sachets if you want them. I think if you purchase either 2 items or $50 or more, I can't remember what her thing is, but But this is an option and I love it. So glad to get one of these because I want all the lavender. I love, 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 love. Okay, so lastly, I just want to talk a little bit about the retreat itself, which was so great. I'm actually gonna pull out some knitting and I'm gonna, maybe I'll sit back. Maybe this will be so unattractive that I'll sit up in a minute, but I was at the Knit for Fun retreat that is hosted by Ann Budd, and this particular one was in Edmonton, Canada. I was extremely fortunate to be able to attend this retreat and had a lovely time meeting so many of you and just getting to see faces that I have known from online and meet new Canadian friends that I didn't know before, and it was just the most lovely time. The weather was perfect for me. Everyone from Canada that I ran into was like, I'm so sorry, this weather, I'm so sorry you're here for this. And I said, no, it's great. It was their first snow. First snow that would be like the sticking snow where it stays, and now this is it for months. And I could not have been more excited to have been there for that because I live in Texas and grew up in Louisiana and never ever get to see snow like that. So almost every day, at least in the morning, there was snow that was falling and sort of freshened up, made the snow pretty again, and I got to go out in it, and even for the few minutes that I had out in the snow every day, it was, excuse me, it was lovely. I could not have asked for any better time to come. So for me, it was perfect. I know not everyone feels that way, but so there was the snow, there was the people, excuse me, I just hit the tripod. I did not bring any yarn to sell there, but we had the bags that were sort of previewed there, and then they went up for sale in Jody's shop afterwards. So I got to attend as a complete civilian, just as a knitter. I attended so many classes. I think every single class that was offered that was a design type class I took 2 different shawl design classes and 1 sweater design class. I also took a sock anatomy class with Ann Budd, and I have so much amazing information that I left with, so many new techniques that I learned. The handouts themselves that the teachers give and the amount of knowledge and things that they give you were amazing. I took the first, I guess Thursday, I took a full day shawl design class with Susan B. Anderson, and she gave us a huge packet of shapes, shawl shapes with kind of recipes, and if you want this shape, this is the general formula that you need to follow, and it was just so amazing. I took a shawl design class with Hohi, and again, hers was specifically crescent shawl designs, which expanded on the information that I had gotten the day before from what Susan said, and it was a little more technical. And so it was so amazing to have 2 different teachers who are extremely prolific designers and teachers, and then to hear kind of their own take on design. And I just feel like that could not have been set up any better for me. I'm excited about the possibility of maybe putting some of those things on paper and into action, and seeing, maybe there will be some Suburban Stitcher shawls in our future. So that was just really fun. It was nice to put my learning cap back on and sit in a classroom and do that. The food at this hotel was just great. They fed us all the time. There was a generous supply of beverages and snacks and lunch and dinner. Lunch was an amazing big lunch every day. I mean, honestly, I could not have asked for anything to be any different. I got so much time with friends. I had an amazing roommate. I mean, all of the things about this trip. What I can say is that if you have never attended a retreat before, then find a retreat and attend it. Find a retreat near you that you can attend. These Knit for Fun retreats hosted by Ann Budd are extremely comprehensive. The teaching that you get there is amazing. So many classes come with it. Cindy, the organizer, ensures that no detail goes left unthought of or unattended to, and it's quite an amazing time. I just could not have asked for a better time. So again, I encourage you to find a retreat near you, or find one of these ones that you can travel to and have just a great time in another location that is not your home, and meet some new knitting friends. So that is it for kind of, I guess, retreat recap. Shop news. The shop is stocked full with lots of sock yarn, lots of new colorways, lots of new colorways, lots of old colorways, lots of pre-orders for Jody shawl kits. Yeah, so I would just encourage you to head over there. If you have found in the past that you can't get some of my yarn, I think that there are a number of things that are in stock and ready to ship, and I would love to show you a couple of the new things that I'm excited about for this season. Okay, so I think most of these are on single ply base, but I just want to highlight a couple of new colorways that are fun. I have a new colorway because I wanted just kind of a different neutral. This one has a holiday name, but it may be around all year or not. I haven't decided yet. But this is called Spiked Eggnog. It's sort of a creamy, kind of vanilla base with some sprinkles of nutmeg on the eggnog. So it's called Spiced Eggnog. It's mostly that creamy color with just shots every once in a while of the speckles. They're kind of a reddish brown. So that is Spiked Eggnog. There is a new colorway called Electric Avenue that is a really pretty kind of minty green, kind of almost a neon minty green. And then it has all of these fun neon speckles. And this is available on several bases, on singles, sock yarn, and DK, as well as Spiked Eggnog is the same. There is lots of peach tea in the shop. Lots of tandoori. And dandaya. Also, I didn't bring them over here, but there is walnut, that kind of chocolatey brown color. There's walnut, there's coal, boyfriend jeans, doily, darkest night. What else is in the shop? There is a new colorway called Old Romance. That's a beautiful kind of creamy neutral with gorgeous sort of purpley, almost light burgundy, sort of washed over it with some gold and purple speckles. Very, very pretty color. And that's on Sparkle and Sock, I believe. And lots of other great things. So I just wanted to highlight a few to show you, and I encourage you to head over to the shop. Almost everything except those pre-orders are ready to ship and ready to be out to you. So thank you so much for stopping in. I love my times chatting with you, and I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.